Hello, sweetlings. This is Missy with you again. The following is part 1 of the Creepypasta Survival Guide, going over rules 1 through 80 that will either save you from a creepypasta or will at least ensure that you are the most interesting character. We've all been there. You've just gone to a certain place at a certain time on a certain date, done a special thing, and the thing you suspected would happen has just fucking happened. Not to mention the fact that you've seen whatever the fuck it is that lives in your mirror, been told in detail how you're going to die, and the highly demonic invincible thing you summoned is headed right towards you. Also, your family are all dead. Your friends are all missing, and you're being framed by someone with access to your bedroom. Oh, what the fuck do you do now, sweet protagonist? Well, you've come to the right place to find out. These are the simple rules one must follow in order to, firstly, not become the victim of creepypasta, and furthermore, to come out kicking if the worst does happen. With the help of this guide, you too can merely be a catatonic, traumatized wreck, as opposed to the guy currently being worn as a coat by some dude who roams around a lot. Just keep these simple rules in mind. Rule number 1. Mirrors and darkness don't mix. Rule number 2. Actually, mirrors are a general no in the creepypasta world. There is nothing more sinister. 3. There is 0 chance of survival if you look at the thing that nobody else can see, or answer its question incorrectly. Number 4. If you are alone at night in a creepy mental institution, take some time to consider what the fuck you're doing there. Then, if it is appropriate to do so, leave. 5. Avoid going to places where everyone else who went there never came back, or died inexplicably. 6. If someone stops your vehicle at night and asks to come with you, it would probably be in your best interest to politely decline. 7. Killing is the last method of survival. Use it sparingly, but without fear. 8. Who was phone? Is always a good thing to ponder. Also, who the hell answers a phone while having sex with a dead person's sexy daughter? A creepy rapist, that's who. 9. Get a simple .38 revolver. Load it with 2 silver bullets. If you really feel there is no chance to come alive out of a situation, take 1 shot at whatever it is that is threatening you. If that doesn't work, you still have the last shot to become an hero with. 10. Area 51 is simply too well guarded to let you in, or let any alien out. 11. When going to a hotel, try to steer clear of unauthorized areas. If you couldn't resist, but you saw a red thing, take some time to consider the price range and hotel standard on your next visit. Have you ever stayed at a haunted Hilton? 12. When booking your hotel stay, TripAdvisor can be an invaluable tool in deeming whether your choice is a scene of a multiple murder, full of dead bodies, or built on the mouth of hell. Local newspapers can also be very helpful. 13. Invoking demons, speaking weird languages, and performing rituals of any kind is considered dangerous. Refrain from doing that, especially around abandoned warehouses, churches, psychiatric institutions, the woods, and your house, in front of a mirror, at night. 14. When going to a new area, environmental understanding is a key to survival. Ask around for cursed places, legends, dangers, and other details. Listen to the local people's advice. And don't be afraid to ask if you're unsure of which attacks or disappearances are paranormal and which aren't. 15. Always have a Bible next to your bed. It provides an average reading material, proof of beliefs, and a really heavy and effective object to throw at enemies. 16. Don't count on holy water. Get a sturdy vial of sulfuric acid and let a priest consecrate it. 17. Japanese priests cleanse rooms by waving katana swords around. Their ritual is 100% effective on corporeal forms. 18. If you find 666 messages on your phone, mailbox, email, etc., consider changing the said service provider. Also, don't bother listening to or reading the messages. It's spam. Extra-dimensional, possibly, but spam nonetheless. 19. Old pharmaceutical companies can't help you, unless you specifically need blood of the innocent, snake oil, and radioactive syrup, which is never. 20. If you have to sign it in blood, you do not need to sign it. All mainstream governing bodies will accept contracts signed in ink. Bear this in mind if the offered deal seems too good to be true. 21. Lighthouses are dangerous. Avoid them at all costs. If you work at a lighthouse, consider a career in insurance sales or veterinary care. Have you ever read 3 Skeleton Key? 22. There is simply no reason to listen to music that causes suicidal tendencies. 23. Or watch films that have strange or disastrous consequences. 24. If you like to plan ahead and have some money, buy your auntie and uncle a house in Bel Air. Nothing can harm you there, no matter how scared your mother is. 25. Secret, secluded, untouched places in old buildings are left untouched for a reason. Pioneers never say die, but in fact they do have an unusually high mortality rate. 26. Before you start swimming in the ice-cold waters of a murky lake at the center of a dark forest at midnight, ask yourself, do you really want to travel to an ancient and terrifying city? If the answer is no, then stay at home instead and watch whatever quality programming is available on Cinemax, which means more boobs. 27. On your 33rd birthday, try celebrating in a well-lit house with the company of others. 28. Refrain from using the one true name for anything. There is probably a reason people gave it a nick. 29. Watching TV static for long periods of time may be hazardous to your health. Try satellite TV or Freeview to combat this problem. Netflix and internet streaming are also effective. 30. Get a cat. These furry little hairballs seem to perceive unnatural phenomenon better than us, and, if desperate, simply throw it at whatever is about to get you. 31. Safety in numbers. If you're getting a bit too freaked out, grab a few friends, any and all firearms, and avoid the area in question. 32. Cemeteries are bad places, especially in foggy conditions and on Halloween. 33. Try not to close your eyes, ever. If you must do so only briefly. If something has moved from its original location by the time it's taking you to blink, it is recommended you do not blink again until you have dealt with said object. Fire is presumably the best method. 34. If you ever find an unmarked tape which contains the file extension .avi, even if it's your favorite kid show, do not, under any circumstances, watch that tape. Now, if it is extension .mts, that's a different matter altogether. 35. If you hear chanting, run until you are out of earshot. 36. If you are too old to play with dolls, you do not need to be anywhere near one of those creepy little fuckers. 37. Legends can offer valuable insight of where not to go camping with friends. When babysitting, ascertain the family's tastes and preferences to avoid being killed by poorly selected statues. 39. Even if you are certain that running will not save you, it is always best to try. 40. If you go to buy a used game, whether it is at a game shop or a garage sale, never, ever buy one with a weird-looking cartridge. This includes strange colors and ripped-off labels with titles written in marker. The latter tends to happen more often than not. For the daring, don't just buy said game to become famous. Your chances of becoming an internet celebrity because of it can only work if you know how to program. You should also be highly suspicious of games priced too cheaply and bootlegs. 41. If you decide to buy the used game anyway, rip that son of a bitch out of your console the moment it starts acting funny and take a hammer to it. 42. If you ever see a strangely no-looking door with a strange face on it on a building you swore you didn't see at first and the building happens to be an old chateau, don't fucking open it. 43. It's probably best to refrain from looking up on Google the phrase huskies with grins. You'll just end up having to spread the word. 44. Never allow someone to take a picture of you with an outdated camera. If it's too late, your only bet is to gamble with death, or just trap him in a photo. That works too. 45. Don't play with dolls if they come with a needle or a defect, especially a defect. 46. Burn Ouija boards, but be sure to have one of those car fresheners handy. The real reason why spirits get pissed off is because of that foul aroma that it produces when burned. 47. Never confront animated puppets physically. Subdue them with spells, or they'll come back with minions or in a real physical body. 48. If you find yourself unable to escape, dancing may ward off the entity. Doing the hokey pokey is known to ward off curious monsters, but you may have to do the moonwalk to deal with zombies. 49. If you're checking your computer for viruses and you go too deep into System 32, refrain from clicking on any .avi files. If you do not heed this warning, creepy videos on you, dude. 50. If you see old tapes containing the words happy or appy, pretend that you never saw them. Just go on with your life. It'll just end up invoking some whacked out, coked up director of an old children's show, and you'll wind up having to pull some thanks for the ride shit to kill him. 51. If you buy a used camcorder and find the previous owner left one of their tapes inside, refrain from watching that tape no matter how tempting it may be. 52. Be careful when buying an old secondhand TV. 53. If you see a guy with both an incredibly large smile and black and white eyes, extricate yourself from the premises post-haste. 54. Don't go to a friend's house to bake cupcakes if they have random spurts of insanity. 55. Phone companies with low coverage are best avoided. 56. .exe files with strange names are not safe. Don't open them. 57. For the love of Neptune, turn off your fucking faucet when you're done with it. 58. If I told you to not look behind you, it's better to do so, unless you're against a wall. 59. Also, do not listen to anybody who tells you to go to sleep. It's best to run away. 60. If you see a tall man with tentacles, run. 61. Don't enter strange websites. 62. Don't enter strange places. 63. Not even strange videos. 64. If a woman who covers her mouth asks you if she's beautiful, tell her she's average. It'll prevent her from slicing your mouth. 65. No good can ever come from owning a shiny Pokemon. Unless it's a shiny Eevee, then you have all the good in the world. 66. If you're an intern at a cartoon studio and you happen to be reviewing a new episode, make sure the episode is safe for work before viewing that shit. 67. Don't be so excited when being asked to look behind you, but don't take forever. No reason to keep certain death waiting. 68. Weird shit in Europe can't hurt you in the United States. 69. Weird shit in the United States won't hurt you in Europe. Damn. 70. If you break Rule 54, there is always a chance of rescue. 71. If your brother is tired of noise, or if your close friend has a brother like that, refrain from going into his basement unless you want to be tortured, raped, and killed. Especially raped. 72. If you buy a memory card and it has saved data on it, delete all saves. 73. If you get a drawing of Sonic on a disc and the only file on the disc is an exe file called Sonic, don't play it. Destroy it, or a demonic being that looks like a Sonic plushie might kill you. If he chooses not to, he will scar you for life. 74. If you see what happens to be a 12-year-old kid with black shorts, a gray, bloody shirt, red shades, dark gray skin, and a maniac grin, do not, under any circumstances, piss him off. Unless you're a werepire. Or brave. 75. Neighbors may have a darker side. If they do things that seem off for them, act normal. 76. In addition to Rule 77, if you hear foreign voices from your body, that means you've been body jacked. 77. If you're an adult and notice that you are being stalked by a guy with a black suit, long arms, and no face, reach for the nearest child and throw him or her at him and then run like hell. 78. If you are a child in the same situation, run like hell before said adult uses you to satisfy the aforementioned being's craving of hunger. If you do not manage to escape before the adult snags you, try bargaining with Slender Man that the adult has more delicious flesh. 79. The Slender Man, said monster described in the last two tips, feeds on paranoia. If you remember Slender Man only wants a hug, he won't go after you. But if Slender Man does stalk you, run. 80. If all else fails, give Slenderman $20 and he should leave you alone. And that was part 1 of the Creepypasta Survival Guide. Come back later for part 2, or follow the link below for the entire list. But why would you want to read the entire list when you can listen to me read it for you? Until next time, sweetlings.